So we are here at the Visual Effects Society Awards evening, and to my right is the table with all of the visual effects awards. And I'm here with Variety 411, LA 411, and New York 411. All the 411s are pretty awesome.
Yes, they are. And not a bad place to pick up a little information.
Hi Mark, I'm Marge Gallis.
And when it comes to picking up a little information, Marge was in charge.
Nice to meet you. Well done.
Dylan, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Sam.
Very nice to meet you.
We do.
Sit around. What is a visual effects with an animated character? What have you guys done with this character?
That's a good question. I think, for what we do in the film overall, in a live action film, it would all be visual effects. But for an animated film, we consider pretty much anything that another department doesn't do becomes effects. Bob, who we're holding here, ended up being a visual effect because he's such an unusual character. We ended up having to develop special systems for making a blobby character that's going to move really uniquely and have all this, a translucent core with glittery stuff inside, and so he became a visual effect for us.
I actually have a question just in regards to that, in regards to the light and the way that the light passes through the character's body. What were some of the challenges in a visual effects world of dealing with that?
Well, one of the things with Bob that was interesting was this was our first stereo feature, 3D feature, and we found that normally you'd have light refract as it goes through a translucent object like this, and we found that with Bob in stereo, it created sort of weird stereo anomalies. It was doing the right thing for what would happen in the real world, but it ended up looking wrong, so we had to tweak reality back and put less refraction in him. So that was one of the things that we found, and it was just because it was stereo.
And that was actually something you probably weren't really anticipating when you started working on it.
Not at all. We watched the first dailies with Bob and thought, this doesn't look right. But then we went back to live action photography. We had photos of streams and other translucent refracting things and saw it did the same thing. So it was real, but it wasn't very pleasant to watch. So we had to cheat reality.
Interesting.
Cheat reality. Marge decided to get to the bottom of this whole award thing.
Here's a special little tidbit about this award. It's not just an award. It actually has its own visual effects. Here on the bottom, you press that button, you've got a lit up moon.
Thank you.
If you want to take a little step out so you're not using them against the wall. Yeah,
Okay, good.
Congratulations, you guys won
Thanks so much.
for the
Thank you.
effects animation. So
right.
tell us, what were some of the effects that we actually saw in Up?
Wow, one of the biggest ones that was a big visual icon in the film was the balloon canopy. And it was actually a simulation of over 10,000 balloons in every single shot that you saw it in.
Yeah, it's just coming up with a simulation that would actually simulate all 10,000 balloons, how they bounced into each other, and just something that it was physically accurate enough to make it do what real balloons would do, but fast enough to let artists kind of sculpt it and make it act and almost make it a character. So that was a big challenge.
Did you do a lot of work just testing out balloons and popping them and seeing how they, playing with them and
Yeah,
whatnot?
we honestly should have done more probably, but yeah, absolutely we did. And then just tons and tons of testing inside the computer, doing just really tiny simulations from the very first one we did, which was just 3 balloons, just as a proof of concept for Pete Docter, the director. So.
Wow. But did you color all the balloons too, or did you have did you create a program that sort of did it randomly for you?
Yeah, it's actually
Those are the shy guys.
it's actually a whole different department that takes care of the material properties of the balloons. And yeah, absolutely, there's kind of a program that describes how light reflects off the balloons, makes them look plasticky and look like they're transparent. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marge always liked shining the light on things. And people were generally grateful for her efforts. You might say Marge herself had a special effect.